The other day, I was just having one of those days that seemed to be more down than usual. I was at work and I was feeling lost. Not lost in the way of I didn't know where I was, but lost in the way that I don't know what to do with my future. I know that my job isn't a forever job, and I most likely don't have a future career within it, but I've always envied those people who just have a purpose. They grow up being really good at something and it sticks, and they just become good at this thing and they use it as their driving force. As for most people, like me, and probably the person watching this video, we haven't figured it out yet. And you may, as I do, spend a lot of time pondering what our purpose may be. And while I can't answer that because I don't even know my own, I did some thinking and made some discoveries on what I think purpose really is. Hello, my name is Wisteria, and thank you for coming back, or thank you for clicking on my video for the first time. If you're new here, I make videos trying to help people around my age who are new adults trying to figure things out. I've had a hard time figuring things out, so I figured the best course of action was to just do it together. So I started making videos a little over a year ago on games that I liked. But as well as the videos we're doing, I got burnt out because what I really wanted to do was talk about real issues. So about 9 months later, I decided to give it a shot. And the past few videos, including this one, are part of what you see now. I thank you for clicking on my video, and let's get right into it. You see, when I was thinking of purpose, I first thought of people that I knew that I had thought found their purpose. My mother is the example I thought of. I thought, what did she do differently that led her to finding her purpose? And then I thought about how I couldn't even think of anything other than she had more time than me and she had more trial and error. But I don't want my purpose to be locked behind time. My brain runs very logically, and I like to think of things as efficient as possible. So I feel I'm wasting time working on anything but my purpose. Because if it isn't something I'll stick with, then I don't really see the point in doing it in the first place. So I went back to square one and thought about what purpose really was. You know, I had subconsciously knew what it was, and I knew what the literal definition was, but if everyone's purpose is different, then there can't really be a single definition. I had always thought that one day God was going to come to me in a dream and say, you must do this and you must do it to honor me. And while some people have said they did find their purpose through a dream or a random thought, that really isn't a reliable method to finding what you need to do. So, from this thought, I knew that purpose couldn't be something that was handed to you. Rather, it seems like it's assigned to you on account of the things you actually enjoy. I think that I assumed my purpose was going to be separate from the things I like doing, which seems backwards in theory, but I think it's the way I grew up. You see, growing up I played sports, and you don't always necessarily get assigned to the position you like the most, but the one that you were the best at. And the same goes with schooling. You get assigned to the classes that you can do AP in and that you're the best at, not the ones that are your favorite. I feel that this has warped my perception of what my purpose really would be. While yes, I do believe that God has a plan for each person, I don't think he would assign it off of what you're the best at off the jump. I think it would be more along the lines of the thing you enjoy the most and have the passion to become the best at it. I think that the way things are running in the world right now makes people think that their purpose is equivalent to their career. And while you can find purpose through a career, it doesn't have to be. Personally, I've never thought a specific career was going to ever be my purpose. My drive comes from the urge to create rather than the drive for money. Don't get me wrong, money is great, and I would much rather have a lot of it, but I'd rather work a job where I had creative freedom and get paid less than to work a job I hate for more money. The ideal is to have both creative freedom and enough money to live comfortably, but I care more about being proud of my own work than having tons of money to show for it. And I think this goes back to my point earlier, that the definition for purpose is different for everybody. So while I can't answer specifically what your purpose would be, I think that what I've come up with can create a better understanding on what purpose really is and go into more detail on the specifics, because in reality, purpose is a construct. It isn't real. It's more of a feeling towards something you care about rather than the literal sense of something you obtain. Social media has heightened our expectations for our purpose. People will tell you that you must be a millionaire CEO or solve some major issue to be anybody of importance. I know I've been hearing this since I was a kid. I always thought that I had to do something great to be someone great. A lot of people I look up to in my personal life are all successful in their business ventures. But I think that's something that comes with the attributes I actually admire about them. Their ability to put in the hard work and care for their families and the willingness to step out of their comfort zones. Because I know firsthand how hard some of these things can be, and they still find a way to do it. All this goes to say, I think we need to stray away from purpose being you doing some insane feat. Rather, purpose needs to be reconstructed into taking your gifts, passions, and personality traits and making the most of them in the way that you care about most instead of what other people care about. Being online removes the requirement of knowing somebody to be able to talk about them. You can just see a video of somebody, and because of anonymity, people will say things that they wouldn't say otherwise. This creates a negative perspective on the ordinary. It tells you that you must do something great and profound, or else you'll have just wasted your life. But if you ask people who have actually accomplished these things, they are either A, extremely unhappy, or B, have their purpose rooted somewhere else, most likely within their personal lives. Purpose from external things can only be maintained when there is more work to go. But what happens when you accomplish the goal? At the end of it all, you realize that the purpose you need has to be everlasting. It needs to be something that you can continue to do until the day you leave this earth, and still innovate. You could write songs that you never release, and you only hear, and that could be your purpose from the day you're born to the day you're gone. I've always felt that I had to have this grandiose purpose, and it would be shown to me. But as I get older, I realize that when I work hard on something I care about, I get a lot more fulfillment than working hard on something that gives me monetary value. When I work on these YouTube videos, it is still work, don't get me wrong. There are days where I wake up and I don't want to work on this at all. But I do have fun, and I'm passionate about it. When I go to work and I'm not passionate, I feel as though my time is being consumed rather than being spent. See, the difference is that when your time is spent on something, you get your return. Fulfillment, recognition, and gratification. But when your time is consumed, it feels empty. I work 5 days a week for 40 hours, and at the end of all that, the only gratification I get is a paycheck, which I will watch enter my bank account and be happy about for no more than 30 seconds, and then immediately look forward to the next one. I'm not saying that work is bad, but if it doesn't align with your purpose, then find something that does, because I'd rather struggle and find something I love than to sit there, comfortable, but never enjoying my time. This video may sound a little preachy, but I promise that of all the people watching this video, I'm actually talking to myself the most. Some of the advice that I give needs to be heard and heeded by me the most. Purpose is a long struggle towards something you care about, and me, and most likely the person watching this video, are both young people who are just in the phase of struggling, and maybe even scrambling to try to find it. If you have found it, you struggle to make it work. I think it's so important to talk about these things. There was never any schooling or external places that teach kids about these types of things, and it's left up to us to figure it out ourselves, along with advice from people who have gone through it before. But it's hard to articulate the exact questions you have, and sometimes there's no direct answer, and the only answer is that there is none. To summarize and wrap up the video, the most important thing I want you to take away is that you do not become a greater person when you find your purpose. You do not become the next step in your journey, rather you take that next step. If you still haven't found your passion, or, in this video, purpose, remember that everyone has something that they are destined for. You are not some oddity who is for some reason born without anything to put your mind to. With that being said, you can't just idly sit by without trying to find it. Try new things, even though it may be uncomfortable. One of the best lessons I've picked up in life is that doing uncomfortable things is the fastest way to grow. And to be 100% honest, I really hate that. I despise being uncomfortable. It is so emotionally draining and hard to do. But to a certain extent, there's hope, If you do everything that makes you uncomfortable, then at some point you just have to reach a level where there's nothing to make you uncomfortable anymore. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you. If I can even reach one person with these videos, then I will be grateful. But of course, I would like to reach as many people as possible because I feel like these messages are very helpful to hear. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so I can continue to make these videos weekly and I can help people that need to hear messages. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and as always, God bless.